Olá pessoal, hi, how are you doing? After the first video about tips to learn English, I'm creating this second video which is more specific, okay? It's gonna give you some more accurate tips, because before I was talking very shallowly over this topic, but now I'm gonna give you good tips. So pay attention to what I'm gonna say from now on, okay? The very first thing you have to do, I'll write on the board, okay? The very first thing you have to do is to understand that the English language is made up of communicative skills, okay? And these communicative skills are four. There are four ones. Listening and comprehension, which we count as one. So first, listen, comprehension, the first one. And then you have the second one, which is the writing skill. And then you have the third one, which is the speaking skill. And then you have the last, but not the least important, okay guys, is the reading skill. For some people, reading is easier than writing. For some other people, speaking is easier than listening and comprehend. But I want you to understand that. For example, let's say you just started learning English. It's very important that you understand this aspect of any language that you are starting to learn. And after understanding this, you need to have a plan, which we will talk later in this video, okay? And when you're understanding this here, you have to see that, for example, these two skills, reading and writing, are linked. Most people don't talk about that because they don't understand this kind of things, okay? They are linked. And these two ones here are also linked. For example, if you want to become a good writer, you have to read a lot, okay? Also, write, because it's a matter of practicing, okay? But you have to read a lot, because that's how your brain will get in touch, get familiarized with that particular type of language input. What do you mean by that, Bruno? I mean that your brain will see what it will need to produce the writing afterwards. That's what I mean. I hope you understand now. So, you read a lot, you write beautifully, okay? You listen to authentic English or whatever the language you're learning, and you will probably be a good speaker of it. Of course, you have to practice. Why do you have to practice? Because there is also something that we call cognitive skill, which is your brain, okay? Your brain has to learn how to think in English. And that's the hardest part of the learning process in this with this particular two skills, okay? Why? Because, for example, there are some phonemes, there are some songs in the English language that you don't have in your language. I don't know if you speak Japanese or Portuguese. Most of my students are Brazilians, so they speak Portuguese. For example, in the Portuguese language, we don't have the phoneme TH. So it's very hard for a Brazilian to pronounce these two consonants together, okay? So they have to learn, because the vocal cords, the muscles here, inside the necks, inside the throats, are not ready to produce that sound. So they have to train. It's a matter of physical training, yes. After training a lot, they will be able to speak it. So maybe in this case, a drill, a repetition will help you a lot. Okay, let's move on. So now that you understand that you have these four skills to take care of, to approach when you're learning, you have to think which of this skill is the easiest and the hardest for you. Which of the skill is the weakest and the strongest, so that you can put more effort into it. more time and effort, because time is key for learning any language, and effort too. Because otherwise you'll be studying, let's say, writing, when your problem is with listening comprehension skills. Okay? So after understanding that you have more problems with listening, you can put more time and effort into it than in the reading. That's also very important during your learning process. Now let's talk about playing. I erase this part of the board here. Let's talk about playing. Playing is very important. Everything that you do in life is important to have a plan ahead of time. So you need to plan your study ahead and set the goals and schedules so that you don't lose time, that you don't get lost on the way. Because this is a long way until you reach the fluency, okay? You don't reach fluency like studying and the next month you're fluent in English. That's impossible. If somebody tells you, oh no, but in 5 months you'll be fluent, I can help it, he is lying, okay? So get away from that kind of people. Okay, so when we're talking about plan, we're inside this second tip, okay? We have to divide things. Okay, I'll erase this part here and then you can print screen from the beginning. So you're planning. So you can, for example, on Sundays and Tuesdays. On Sunday and Tuesdays, you can learn how to read. Put here reading and writing. Okay, reading and writing on Sundays and Tuesdays. The time is up to you because I know you probably have to work, so you don't have so much time. You're probably not a teenager, you're an adult, and you have to make ends meet just like me. So you choose how much time and effort you want to put into that study, okay? And on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays, you'll be studying the speaking and listening. Okay? Just a second. It's too much information, so I had to write it all down to memorize it. Okay, on Fridays, you look for help, because help is very important, okay? Put here. Look for help. And it's not difficult to find help nowadays, because you have the internet. When I was learning English back 25 years ago, I didn't have the internet. So I had to find help in the books. And I didn't have books, so you can imagine the difficulties I had. All right, so, okay, you are planning your study here, and you have divided the skills into days, and you also had your goals. On the Saturday is very important. Saturdays is the accountability. What's accountability, Bruno? Accountability is the day when you will look at all that you have studied and see what you have learned. Okay, that's your accountability. So, so on Saturdays, you have the accountability. And this is one of the most important parts of your planning, okay? Because you have to see what you have learned, because that will give you the feeling that you are making progress. Because if you don't have that feeling, you get down, and you need to self-motivate you, okay? Okay, now that you have planned your study, next step, the third tip. Erase this part here. You need to understand what works for you, the strategy you will use to learn. Because I suppose you are a self-learner, okay? So you need to understand, you need to find out how you will approach to your study, to your learning process. And that's very important. Learn how to learn, okay? Learn how to learn. Learn the strategies. Yes. Because otherwise you lose a lot of time and you get tired, okay? And that's not good for the learning process. After that, you have to think about the help again, because without help, you're not going so far away on your own. You will understand that sooner or later, you will need help. It doesn't matter if you're already fluent or not. If you have a goal and you want to reach it, you will probably need help from somebody. So look for help whenever possible. Put it here. Just a second again. And taking the opportunity here to say that when you look for help, you have you have to be humble. And what do I mean with that? I mean that you need to accept the help. Because sometimes you are an advanced student, somebody comes and tells you something that is new for you, and you say, no, but I'm an advanced student and I don't know that, which means that doesn't exist. Oh, come on. You don't know everything. You're learning. You're advanced, but you're still learning. Okay? So you have to be humble to accept help, because that help will help you learn faster. Okay? Be humble to accept help. I'm not saying you shouldn't filter out the help you're getting, okay? I'm not saying you have to go around listening to everybody's opinions. I'm just saying that you have to listen. Then you think about what you heard by yourself. Because the fact that you already know English doesn't mean that you can't learn more. Learning more has a lot to do with being humble, with humbleness, okay? If you're open to learn, you'll be always learning, and there is always something new to be learned, okay? I think for today, these tips will help you. But yeah, if you were my student, I could give you more tips. I could guide you through your learning process in a more efficient way. But you're not my student. So what you can do for now is to watch these videos. Don't forget to leave your likes, okay? And ask your questions, because that's a very good way for you to practice all that I have just said, okay? Bye bye, I hope you liked this video.